You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of Nerds Podcast. Thank you all for the comments, likes, even those who have subscribed. If you haven't, hit that logo in the bottom corner, the Nerds logo in the bottom corner to subscribe. And today we'll be reviewing the Penguin series. It did end a couple of months ago, but being that Colin Farrell is running away with all the Best Actor in a Limited Series awards, we figured this is a good time to kind of give our review, being that this is only our 4th episode. So, Colin Farrell, we all know him throughout the years of he's been in the movie Phone Booth. He's been in the remake of Total Recall. He's got an impressive resume, and The Penguin is his latest work. And originally, he wasn't offered the role. It was supposed to go to Jonah Hill, and he backed out. So, but look at what he's done with it. He's taken the role and he's owned it and he's run away with it. So this time I'll lead off with Puba. Talk about it.
I got to tell you that, and you guys know this. When I first saw the Batman movie, Matt Reeves' Batman, was not a fan of the movie. Batman seemed clumsy, didn't seem sharp. I wasn't a big fan of the way they kind of did the mob life with the Falcone. The Penguin, the show turned my thought process of how the Batman movie is. So if you ever wanted to see this in order, you would see the Matt Reeves, the Batman movie, and then see the Penguin. But you're right. Colin Farrell for the Penguin show masterfully brought the Penguin to life. And we see the Penguin at his true starting point, right? As a driver in this show, you see him kind of go up to the ranks to being a boss at a club. You see him more in the hands of a henchman / goon, and his rise to power. And those type of shows, especially in the comic book world, for someone who's, and I would consider him a major villain, right? I would consider him a major villain. I relate to this show to what it would look like if, just kind of based off the Spider-Man show, because I think Batman and Spider-Man, they're probably 1 and 1A when it comes to having a list of enemies, right? So you could do a lot of different enemy takes when it comes to that. And we kind of knocked out the Riddler in this Matt Reeves world, and we're able to see someone, if someone just said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go all in on something." And this one felt like a Sopranos type of show, mob world type of show. But from beginning to end, what they did with this show and make the Penguin a household name, just kind of intelligent writing, a lot of the different things. I thought they were kind of going to do a long Halloween, especially showing some of the other Falcone, like the kid that becomes the holiday killer. But the take that they did for the Penguin, the intelligence to make this an event that happened after the Batman movie in this Matt Reeves world, I kind of want them. I'm kind of hoping that James Gunn doesn't play with this too much and just kind of says, you know what, this is smart. Let's keep this the way it is. Because now I can't see anybody else but Colin Farrell as the Penguin. It's the kind of same way Christopher Reeves is my Superman, and it's hard to compare that. Yeah. But this guy took on the role so bad that we kind of say the same thing with Heath Ledger, right? In the sense of just kind of and totally consuming what a character looks like and feels like, that, and that love-hate relationship It's kind of how we hated Johnny in Karate Kid all our lives until we saw Cobra Kai, and you fall in love with Johnny. And we always saw the Penguin like, he's a villain, he's a bad guy, and you fall in love with him, but then they make you realize he's still a villain. So the roller coaster ride of that was amazing. Um, I really, really would tell anybody, if you love The Sopranos, you've loved Goodfellas, you loved any of the Godfather movies, this is a must watch. That's what I think about it.
Oh,
Crazy. Wow. So much to take about this show. The show is streaming on HBO Max in case you guys want to check it out. Like Pete said, came out a couple of months ago, but we do want to talk about this and review it because of course we're the nerds. So first and foremost, just like Pooba said, it's if you want to understand the Penguin, you got to see the Batman. Watch the Batman and see how Gotham City is. As you can see, I'm in my hoodie and, I'm in Gotham City right now. So I got to be on the lookout always on the low ski, right? After you watch the Batman and then you go to the Penguin, first and foremost, for me, I like the fact that he doesn't look like the Penguin. The Penguin that we are so common to see from the actor that played the Penguin, which I thought he looked great in the 70s Batman show that we grew up on. And then you fast forward to Danny DeVito, which me personally, he didn't look great. And given the time that movie came out, the special effects and makeup was a little different back then. But he absolutely showed you what kind of monster Cobblepot can be. But here in the Penguin, it's more of a realistic style of what a mafia, why would you call him the Penguin, right? So from what I understand, Penguin waddles. We all know that, right? If you guys watch football, waddle, right? With this show, when they showed that he waddles because his foot was messed up, that put me in a perspective like, okay, this is the real deal. We're really in Gotham City right now. And this is what's going on. As far as them taking the Penguin, I wasn't too excited about the Penguin being a show outside. Now, given Colin Farrell, like Pete was saying, the movies he came out with, which, by the way, for me, mine was The Recruit. Love that flick. I could see that movie over and over. Really good movie with Colin Farrell. And Colin Farrell played Bullseye in a Marvel movie that was titled Daredevil, played by Jennifer Garner. And, of course, Daredevil was played by Ben Affleck. That's when Fox had it. When Colin Farrell was playing Bullseye, he tried his best, but I wasn't convinced. He actually looked better than the way he portrayed Bullseye, in my opinion. But yet, when he plays the Penguin, holy smokes, does he grab you in? Just like Pooba was saying, a Sopranos, Godfather, mob style, and how the show just took his character and then made the movie extension of what happens before, during, and after what the movie was about while the Batman was running around trying to figure out the Riddler. This right here was very, very well told. So for me, the Penguin, thumbs up. Cisco and Eve, give it 2 thumbs up. It was actually pretty good, man. It was a pretty good show. And one last thing I would like to say is that I don't think you need to know who Batman is, or it's a comic book movie. A comic book show. It's just a good show. Period, point blank. Anyone, any novice you could tell any novice, no, a person that never picked up a comic book and say, hey, check this show out. What do you think? Tell me. And I'm pretty sure they'll come back to you, especially like Pooba was saying, if you like those kind of shows, or if you don't, you're still gonna be into the show because all the actors were really good, the storytelling was great, and Colin Farrell just knocked it out the park.
Phone Booth was my favorite Colin Farrell movie, and shout out to SWAT. I did like SWAT.
SWAT was good. SWAT was all right.
SWAT was good because of LL.
Negative. LL said one of the worst lines I've ever heard in a movie.
What he said
when he caught the bad guy when he was on the bridge. When he caught this guy, he pointed his gun at him and said, "Tell Daddy how you want it."
Ooh, pause. No Diddy.
That's now called a Harry.
That's the
Go
worst.
get him, Tiger.
The
worst. Hilarious, yo.
So looking at the Batman movie, which I thought was an excellent movie. Was it the best Batman I've ever seen? No. But was it good? Is it rewatchable for me? Yes. So it was interesting that they chose the Penguin, who wasn't a main character in that movie, because it wasn't like they did a series on Falcone. They took the Penguin, who, normally his name is Oswald Cobblepot, but in the series it was Oz Cobb. Now, I don't know if that's something that he goes by in the streets or something like that, or he changed it for that reason. Don't know the reasoning behind it, but I know he's Oz Cobb in the series. And I explained to a friend of mine that, like what you just said, it's not comic booky at all. It's very grounded. I don't know if you guys noticed, they did switch up the actor who played Falcone. They switched him up, and his reasoning was, which was legit, was the violence that they showed towards women. He wasn't really cool with that and wanted to, even though he didn't have a big part in the series, he is a different actor playing Falcone from the movie. But them taking one of the smaller characters from the movie and making a series about him, giving us his backstory, like Pooba said too, like a rise to power type of thing. It was interesting. It was an easy watch because it didn't lag at all. They introduced his daughter, Falcone's daughter Sophia, who was a main character in this series. She went from bottom to top and then back to the bottom, ending up back in Arkham. But this was over months ago, so we shouldn't be giving any spoilers because it's been done already. Mm-hmm. Her finding out that Catwoman's her half sister, Selena Kyle's her half sister, was dope to me. And Vic, no one's brought up Vic yet. His right-hand man.
We're gonna get to that. I definitely want to talk about Vic.
His right-hand man. That to me, it was that character was kind of perfect for this show, and the way he kind of was introduced and how he kind of fit into the storyline. Yeah, I won't go too deep in it because pause to let you guys go and talk about Vic as well. But the story overall for me was perfect. It's gonna lead into the next film, and a lot of people, I remember people asking, where was the Batman in all this? Like, let's not forget that, this comes after the Batman movie where the city was flooded. So I'm sure he's dealing with a lot of more important things than what the Penguin's doing running around.
Can I say something real quickly? I think it's genius to not bring Batman into this, because what Gotham needed during this time of the Penguin show, they needed Bruce Wayne. They needed someone that can help with structure, that can help build back Gotham up, which is the Wayne Company, Wayne Foundations. What they're really good at is trying to clean up Gotham, but in the political, structural way, things of that nature. So I don't think you see Batman during this process, and it's smart because what Gotham really needed was a Bruce Wayne. They needed that philanthropist person to support Gotham at that time. What do you think, Cole, about that?
Well, as far as like Batman not popping up, I was good with it. I mean, like I said, um, the Penguin itself, just the storyline, held up the whole show. So I didn't need to see a cameo. Now, like in Creatures Commandos, there was a quick cameo of Batman, and I like that. But if he's not there, that's fine as well, as long as the story can hold up. Even if Creature Commandos didn't show a glimpse of Batman, I think I would have still been okay with that show. So for me, like not having Batman, I'm all right with it because the Penguin was holding its weight. And the other characters, like Sophia Falcone,
Hangman.
you know, which wow, this actress played a hell of a part. I mean, she really showed you what it is to be in the mafia and have that kind of power. So yeah, I didn't need to see Batman.
This was a story about Penguin. It was his backstory. We all know where he's at. We all know that Batman's in Gotham. Didn't need it because the story, the show itself was able to stand on its own without Batman. Because then the same way when we talked about Captain America, there was discussion of, oh, do we bring the Hulk in? And then they said, you know, the reasoning for not bringing him in was no, because then there's more going to be more focus on the Hulk than on Captain America. This is his movie. Let it be his movie. I mean, is he fighting Red Hulk and the leaders in it? Yeah, that's fine. But it's still a Captain America movie. Bringing in the Hulk is going to distract from all that. So bringing in Batman would have done the same thing here. So this is a story about the Penguin, and like Poe said, didn't need it. It did not need Batman. We all know he's there. Don't need to see him to know about that he's there.
I think Matt Reeves and this world does it geniusly because it's the same way when they cut out the Joker out of the Batman movie. Because once you show the Joker, no one's going to give two craps about the Riddler. If you show Batman, no one's going to care about the Penguin anymore. They want Batman. Again, I said this before. I'm a big fan of the meat and potatoes when it comes to the superhero world. But if you show a nice grilled steak, and I said, hey, check out this appetizer, you're not going to care for the appetizer anymore. And again, I kind of see things of this nature the way they do things. They cut out the scene with the Joker. They didn't bring Batman into this. Creature Commandos gives you a slight Batman, and they give you something of Batman at the end of the show. So it just kind of says, hey, just remember he's here. But I think I didn't care for Batman. I was absolutely enthralled with Victor and Penguin's relationship. I love the way Victor's trajectory happened in the show. We saw him. He reminded me of Richie a little bit with the gaggle, like we grew up with someone that very similar to Victor Aguilar, right? We grew up with someone that had a speech impediment, that relied on the streets to get what they were trying to do. I mean, he was trying to rob a car, which immediately I thought about Batman and the way he met is it Jason Todd that was trying to steal his car?
Yeah.
I saw that portion of how Batman took Jason under his wing, and Cobb did the same thing when he was trying to steal his tires. And I think they took a little bit from that to say, hey, the funny thing is, while I did not see the ending coming the way it was. If you guys saw it, please tell me that. But the Victor also coming up to promise and showing how Victor can be cruel because he killed someone on the show too. Shows the influence that the Penguin has. And I truly believe that Victor loved the Penguin. You guys can't tell me anything different.
What do you think about Vic?
Man, let me tell you about Vic. So the reason I like these comic book movies, because I don't know, from what I understand, these things were actually created close to home. Again, I grew up in the Bronx, right? So Gotham City gives me that Bronx feel. This show right here takes me back to those times where it was dark, grimy, gruddy, and Victor was me. But I chose to go a different path than the way Victor did. Now, I can't be mad at him. First of all, he kind of had a shot to start all over. He had the opportunity. He had a good girl, a good companion that could take him away from all of this. I know he had a big tragedy. We all go through tragedies, but during those times, tragedies was like nothing to us. We didn't feel anything because it was just the norm on those times when we were growing up. So the way they make in Gotham City and these characters just reminds me of that, right? So he didn't choose that. He had an opportunity to either work with the Penguin or go with his girl. He ended up choosing the path of the Penguin. Throughout the whole show, I'm rooting for this kid. I'm like, holy smokes, he's going to be something. And then the way the Penguin dealt with Victor had me thinking that could have been me growing to become something that I wasn't even supposed to be involved in. Pooba, you did say he killed someone. It was kind of on the, I feel like the Penguin was putting the battery on Victor's back and molding him to what he needs to do. Remember when he was burying, I don't, pardon me if I laugh. I don't know why I think this is funny, but when he was burying the body and Oz was just flipping on him like, yo, come on, do it right. This is what you got to do. At that moment in time, me putting myself as Victor, I was like, I don't want to work with this guy. I want to leave. He's about to kill me and leave me in here as well. Can I really trust this guy? So, in Pooba's point, yes, he ended up giving up everything just to prove to Oz, hey, I'm riding with you. And I love the way it ended because it shows a realistic move. It's happened before where we make the wrong choices and it bites us at the end. With that being said, having Victor with Oz was a great distraction towards what the story was actually about with his mom and with Sophia Falcone, because the Penguin had a lot of things going on. But Victor was the perfect distraction to have us wondering what's going to happen with this character. And what ended up happening, that storyline alone could have held this whole show. But the show was just so amazing with the mother and Sophia. I want to talk about Sophia, where Sophia, you have to watch the Batman movie to understand what happened to her dad, right? The Riddler ends up killing the dad. So at that moment, though, the Penguin was going to murk him. Like, he couldn't take it anymore because in Gotham, there's always like this battle for territories. Since that didn't happen, now when the daughter came out, it was cool to see the Penguin kind of be like, shoot, I gotta deal with this person because she's the head of the helm now by default, should I say. So when Sophia came in, after watching the whole entire show, I'm looking at Sophia and saying, wow, what does she want? And the end just completely threw me off. I didn't know that, her main goal was just to, hey, screw the family and the legacy, and I want to start my own. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it took me aback, which sometimes you try to predict these shows and any show or movie that you watch, you kind of like, if you've seen a lot of movies and shows, you're going to look and be like, okay, I kind of have an idea where this movie or show is going, but the great ones always give you that twist. So for her, like, to do what she did because of her dad and the resentment that she had, I thought that was amazing.
What did you, in Pooba, what did you think about Sophia? Because I spoke about Sophia, Cole just spoke about Sophia. What did you think about Sophia?
Man, the two twists at the end, right? So there's a twist at the end of this, and it reminds you that there's sometimes worse things than death. Sophia killed the role and as the hangman. Um, Even the scratches when she was scratching her neck, kind of giving you that sense of a noose around her neck.
Mm.
Um, and I think for the most part, because we have so many problems, sometimes within our own families, and you see what Sophia has to go through within her own family. And again, we live in a patriarchal society where sometimes females don't get their proper due. I loved how she came into power, and how she took out the whole family, but still had a little heart for a little girl. So I think the most part that what they did with Sophia was amazing, showing us, because they show us Arkham, and Arkham is supposed to be this place that rehabilitates, right? And I think Sophia, who was innocent, got put into Arkham and became something she wasn't. I don't think she was this massive killer. I don't think she was this evil plotting person. I don't think that was part of her nature. I think she was a smart businesswoman. She's Falcone's kid. So to portray her to be as innocent and good, same thing we saw evolution and transformations and a lot of different things. I mean, Arkham Asylum was her spider bite. It's what really changed her, and you could tell the difference because they show you Blackgate, where Maroni is, and they also show you, of course, Arkham, and the two differences of what that looks like and feels like. And there's not many Batman shows or Batman anything to tell you what that the difference looks like. To see Sophia in Arkham, to see Maroni in Blackgate, where Maroni's not changing. There's no evolution for him there inside the jail, but to see Sophia's and her transformation, uh, I mean, I think it was genius. But they had the parts, like I said, between Alberto and Sophia to make a long Halloween movie, but they just went in a different direction, which I again I was definitely okay with it because they switched it up. But I think the Sophia role was necessary, especially based on the relationship between the Penguin and her, to kind of see where they were going to bump heads in the direction we're going to go. When we knew that Sophia was going to go after Penguin, like there was no way that I thought his mom was going to make it. There's no damn way. Not with her name as the Hangman, not with her knowing what she knew in the middle of the show. But you can see where she's kind-hearted with an iron fist, and exactly what Sophia needed to be for the show is what's delivered. I think the actor's name is Christine Milioti. She definitely, as Colin Farrell is winning these awards like crazy, which he absolutely deserves, especially if you knew, I think it was like 6 hours just to get him into costume. Um, as a supporting actress, she deserves some awards, in my opinion, for the role that she played. And I'm not sure if she's been nominated for anything. I don't know that, but I do know that
She has won, not as many as Colin Farrell, but she has won one.
for Sophia.
So my thoughts on Vic was they introduced this character and they showed kind of his backstory and how he kind of got mixed up in trying to steal Oz's car, and they showed that he lost his family because of the flood from the Batman movie, which was a great tie-in to see why he was so attached to the Penguin and why he wanted to prove himself so much to the Penguin. And the introduction and then what happened at the end, what to me was kind of fitting. Do I think he could have fit with the movie coming up, the second Batman movie? No. Do I think Sophia fits in that? I think she does because her dad is not there anymore. Um, Maroni's not there. So and again, she's a major part because she has ties to Selena Kyle now. Now that's out there. Now she knows. So of course she's probably gonna be back for the next movie. Sophia should be back for the next movie. But Vic, unfortunately, like we said, there's spoilers here. He won't be back. But the way he did, and like Cole said, he had his opportunity, and he chose him when he saved him. When they were about to kill Sophia and the Penguin, he saved him, and that's just him. He loved the fact that he was able to prove himself to him, and unfortunately, him going out the way he did showed that the Penguin loved him as well, but didn't want to get caught up the way he did with his mom and Sophia, because Sophia was using his mother against him. So he didn't want that to happen again. That's, kind of like a weakness of his. So he said, you know what, I have to take this out so no one can use this against me, because I felt that he had the same type of feelings for Vic as Vic had for him. And that's why he took him out.
So you
But
think it was love?
was that?
You think it was love that killed Vic?
Absolutely. Why else would he take him out? What do you think? Why else do you think he killed him?
He's always been like loyal to him. Remember when he stood up when with all the guys and said, "Are we gonna let this happen? Or are we gonna stand up?" I was like, "Wow, he really Penguin really put the battery on your back, Vic. Like you really standing strong with this guy."
So what do you think it was? If it wasn't love, like what do you think it was?
No. I agree with you. I'm saying that it's love. And when you see, it makes us weak. Like, in a sense, for our kids, for our wives, for an underdog team, um, or someone that you just love is one of our weakest things. For the Penguin, I agree with you, and that has to be stated that Victor wasn't killed out of anger. Victor wasn't killed out of spite. Um, Victor
Fear,
chose this.
fear of him taking over. You think?
No,
I
I
don't
thought
like. I don't think so.
again. I know we're playing with this in a sense, but Victor died in the name of love because the Penguin knew if he loved something, it could be used against them to
That's
Pedro's
my
point.
interpretation of it. The same way
Yeah.
Sophia used his mother against him, he didn't want that to happen again. So he's like, you know what? I don't want to be compromised because someone gets a hold of him, and then I gotta get off track of what I'm trying to do. So you know what? I'll eliminate this from the equation. I don't have to worry about anybody ever using Vic because I'm taking him out of the equation. Because you know what, I would love for him to stay with me, but you know what, I can't risk this dude interfering. Not that he's interfering, but if someone was to get a hold of him and use him against me, I'm going to be in the same situation as when Sophia was using his mom against him. That's how I took it.
So it was love with a necessary evil.
So he was loyal to him, so he knew that. I don't think he questioned any of that. It's just, you know what, we all and we kind of forgot. And Colin Farrell said the same thing. He said while he was reading the script, he said, "Wow!" When he finished it, he said, "People are gonna hate him afterwards because people were rooting for him at some points during the story." I'm talking about the Penguin. Everybody loved Vic. I think everybody loved him as a character and was shocked to see what happened. But it came full circle to say, "Look, and I know you guys were rooting for Oz and stuff like that when with Maroney and Sophia, but let's not forget this guy's a villain."
Did you guys see it coming?
I
Cole,
did
did you
not.
see it coming?
I did not.
No, I definitely didn't. I thought that was great. I mean, that's another great part about the flick that you try to like see where everyone is going to stand at the end of this. And when he murked them, I shed a tear because I was rooting for Victor. So I did not see that coming. What I but what it gave me was, like P said, who the Penguin is. And that's what I liked about Vic being there as a distraction character where you can't even like dig deeper into what's really, really going on in this story. So
So,
yeah.
so Puba, starting with you, final thoughts on the Penguin.
It's a must watch. If you love DC and you love some of the event comic books, some of the deep lore that gets you into DC or Marvel, right? And it doesn't matter if you're looking for a really good story. This is not a filler by any form or fashion to try to get you into Matt Reeves' world. I think it's a genius. It's smart. It's a roller coaster ride. There wasn't a show that I found boring that I was like, oh yeah, let's get to the next episode. I don't care about this. I wanted more, and while I want more, I don't want them to make another season of The Penguin. Don't do it. Like leave it for what it is. It's a work of art. The acting is incredible. The cast is amazing. From getting Rossi to play Rush, the Doctor to Sophia to Penguin to Vic, to seeing Victor out, then back in, to a different take on mushrooms. The colors, the schemes, the darkness of Gotham comes to life in this show. If you're a fan of just a great show overall, I can't stress enough. This is one of the best shows that This show is up there with some of the better Marvel TV shows that hit the knock the park, like the Captain America, Falcon, Winter Soldier show. This isn't a slow start. I mean, the minute that him and Alberto get into it, and you could see that people are going to try to diminish this guy, but he is still going to rise to power. His short fuse, I loved it. I loved the way while it reminded me of a friend that we both all have, and I'm not a fan of that person. The everything down to the beginning to the ending. You're gonna left gut punched with this. This isn't like something like you go, okay, wow. No, this is a conversation piece. If you're watching it with someone, this is a conversation piece for this show. I'm expecting a lot of comments on this because the show is that phenomenal. And if we didn't raise up a question during this conversation, please ask the question. I'd love to have the conversation on the YouTube channel as well. But if you ever wanted to get into Gotham and what it feels like to live in the slums and underneath the heat of what this world is, it is depicted. It's everything that you've ever wanted to know about the Gotham streets. It's better than any episode that's on Gotham. If you remember that show, when they had the villains and they kind of show this underworld boss and they're trying to depict that. Man, not even compared to that, this really in this one show is better than any episode out of whatever season you can watch on Gotham. I think they delivered. I think they did a phenomenal job with bringing a character who we've known to kind of be comedic and look funny and kind of joke around with it. I don't know of anyone that takes the Penguin serious. This show reminds you that this is a very serious character because of the things that he's willing to do, even up to killing his own brothers to be number one. So you have to watch the show. I'm willing to let you know that I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody who watches this stuff because it is a beautiful and wonderful storytelling that this show gives you from the rooter to the tutor. And I'm a big fan of the show. I mean, definitely it gives me I wanted to see the Penguin. When they showed real quickly, I got to say this because we know he kind of runs the underworld in the subway. When they just started showing the subway and all that stuff that we know that is Penguin lore, and they're showing how that's all starting, and oh man, phenomenal storytelling. From Penguin's mom as well. So if you ever want to show what it's sometimes, and again, if you could take all of the stuff out that's bad, the things that you want to do in life, you decide how that's going to happen. No excuses. The Penguin gives you that. He gives you if you ever want something in life, go and get it. Don't have to go to the extent that he did, of course, but a phenomenal show, a phenomenal ride. I can't wait to see the Penguin again in a Batman movie. But giving him his own show was a smart move by Matt Reeves, and just joining this. I hope that he stays the Penguin in Gunn's universe because he is the Penguin, and the show does a phenomenal job of explaining what this is and how he can be a villain to the savior of Gotham, Batman. So kudos to them. I love the show.
Oh,
It was great. HBO really knows how to make it happen. I'm glad Max has DC and gives me the opportunity to watch all DC and them build their brand. So it gives me nothing but hope as far as this show, man. Uh, Holy smokes. The mother part was really, really interesting for me because I kind of felt like the penguin wouldn't be that bad of a person and kill his brothers, but he did because of the love of his mom. So the psychology of that is just wild to me with everything that's going on. It seems like in Gotham, everybody gets screwed. Watch your back when it comes to being out there, because holy smokes, there's a lot of backstabbers out there. Everyone's out for themselves. Everyone wants power, and the show showed that. Um, Showing Gotham City, though, Dwell is right. I mean, I felt that the minute I saw the Batman, and that's an interesting point because settings count, and I always look at the way they portray Gotham City in any Batman show or movie. And this one right here just hit home for me. So, I got to say that. That one right there really made me feel like I was back in the BX in the 70s and 80s with the drugs, the
Yeah.
cartel, the
We know, we
crimes.
know, we all know many a penguin. That's for sure. We all know many a penguin.
I don't. I try to stay away from that. With great power comes great responsibility. I wasn't down with that. But it does bring back that feel for me watching the show. Um, you got great actors that can act. So it sucks that it takes him 6 hours, Colin Farrell, to get in costume, because who wouldn't want to see him continuing playing this role? I doubt it. I don't blame him. And I wouldn't even need to see him ever again, because I understand that this is an Elseworld. I like what James Gunn's thought process about this is. I'm not going to just dismiss this. It is part of the entire universe. It's just that part of the universe. So if I never get to see the Penguin again, I'm good. I'm okay with that.
Wow.
Who wouldn't want to see him again? Obviously, all of us, because he just absolutely did terrific in this role, in the movie The Batman and in his own show. To hold up a whole show, you can only imagine. You definitely deserve the all the awards and accolades you're getting, Colin Farrell. So congratulations to you on that. But just a phenomenal show. Again, I'll conclude with, you don't even need to know about comic books. You can just watch the show. You can recommend it to anyone from grandma to 21 years old. Let's go 21. Maybe 18. Maybe 18. 18 to grandma. And you actually enjoy the show because it's just a good storytelling show without without it being watered down. I mean, there's so many parts that blew my mind in this show that I hope you guys get to see it and give us a comment on and let us know. Again, we'll be down to chat with you forever and always.
For me, I would recommend the show. It's but I will piggyback on what Cole said. It is part of the Elseworlds. It's not connected to anything else. So if James Gunn introduces a Batman into his DCU, he's already said it's not going to be Pattinson. It's not going to be him. So anything over from this the Batman crime saga, from what I understand, is what it's being called. So I don't think anything, I doubt anything from these movies, this show is going to be transferred over. So you're only going to see the Penguin here. I know he's going to be in the second one. I don't want to see a season two, because what else is there? They kind of gave us his backstory. They showed him as a kid. They showed him even as a kid how fucked up he is. And because what he did was really was like can't even put into words what he did. I'm watching it, but can't really believe him when I'm watching when he's doing what he was doing as a kid. Um, but it was for the love of his mother. I mean, is it drastic? Absolutely, but it was for the love of his mother. Um, but they showed his whole story, so I don't think a season two fits. I don't think, and I don't think it has anything to do with him not wanting to play the Penguin. Because look, he's getting rave reviews for it. He's winning awards for it. He's owned the role. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think as an actor, as a serious actor, it's more like let's do it where it makes sense, not just do it just for the sake of doing it. Because I think if they came up with a phenomenal story, he's gonna say, yeah, let's do it because it's a great story, not because it's a paycheck. I doubt he's struggling. He's not a struggling actor. This guy's an A-lister. He doesn't need this work. But he has commented on the makeup, but I don't think that would be something that would deter him from doing it again. But from what he said is just let's just make sure it's done right. Um, so but going back to that, I wouldn't want to see a season two just for the sake of it. I think we'll see him again in the Batman, the sequel to the Batman movie. But that to me that'll be it for him. I believe they're doing a trilogy, probably going towards Court of Owls. Who knows? But we'll find out more when that sequel is announced. But the show overall, to me, and we've seen different takes on the Penguin, like you guys have said before. Danny DeVito to the '60s, Burgess Meredith from the '60s show. Um, we've seen different takes, and this is more of a mob boss. And nowadays, this kind of fits more if you want to have a grounded Batman. So he has a small part in the movie. Falcone's not there anymore. His show kind of shows his rise to power. And again, one thing that we really didn't discuss too much was the relationship he had with his mother. That to me was big. And to do what he did as a kid and then to do what he did as an adult to finish out the show just showed that the love he had for his mother, not wanting to let her go under any circumstance. So for me, like Cole said earlier, Siskel and Ebert, 2 thumbs up. um and I want to see more, not a second season, but do want to see him in the next movie, do want to see him reprise the role because he's amazing at it.
Do you guys want to see other characters in this Elseworld? And if so, what character do you want to see to have their own show in Gotham?
It depends on it depends on because like let's say okay look, Catwoman or Selena Kyle, they don't really call her Catwoman. Selena Kyle, would you want to see a show with her?
No,
So again it
I don't. I
depends.
don't. I
Look,
don't want to see that.
look, they hit a home run with this. No one would think they would make a show about the Penguin, and they made a show about him, and it's awesome. So it really depends. It depends on story. The same way how he won't come back just to do the second season. It's got to depend on story because you could say, oh yeah, let's take the most interesting character out of Batman's rogues and make a show of him. But if it sucks, it doesn't matter who the show is about. It's about the writing.
So you'll take any show in this Elseworld, but they just have to make it solid, like they did this.
Again, the same. I think Cole said it earlier as well. Like, yo, the Penguin. They're making a show about the Penguin, and look, they knocked it out the park.
Like I said earlier in the show, I think the
People,
law.
hold on,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
people who don't even like it, like comic books or whatever, were watching this show because it's grounded. It's not like and look, there was no Batman because Batman would have taken away from it. This was a show about the Penguin, his backstory, and his rise to power. That's what it was.
I think this Elseworld is a great. If they do Hush in this Elseworld, it'd be a great. The way they do Penguin, I would like to see them kind of do a Hush type of thing in this Elseworld. With again, hopefully the same writers, hopefully the same passion that they put behind the Penguin. That's the one thing I do want to see in this Elseworld is a Hush movie.
There was a tease to Hush in the Batman movie.
Yes, I saw that. What you think, Cole? Anything that you want to see in this Elseworld type of thing?
No, I think this is enough. I'm more excited for the James Gunn approach. So as far as like any Elseworld, would anything so Elseworld to me, from what I understand, is anything that was created prior to James Gunn starting his universe, correct?
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
more
think
Matt Reeves.
I think it's anything outside of it. I don't know if it's before he took over, but it could be something that's just outside of his universe. They'll do, from what I understand, they'll do something else, but if it's not part of James Gunn's plan, but they approve it, that's Elseworlds.
So I watched on Max this 3-part movie series called Crisis on Earth, right? And they gave you different versions of Batmans, different versions of from different worlds, and so on and so forth. For me, this right here was great. I think they can, depending on what the Batman Part 2 movie portrays the villain, whoever that villain is, or a side villain like the way the Penguin was to the Batman movie. It all depends on how that movie goes. And if there's somebody in there, let's say, just for example, I don't know, but the Scarecrow is in it, but it's not about the Scarecrow. It's about the Court of Owls, which would be different. But Scarecrow kind of like, comes in here and there to the story, and they want to do an Elseworld Scarecrow, fine. But till then, nah, I'm okay. I'm more excited for what James Gunn's universe on the DC. This was great. Leave it alone.
I would like to. The other one I'd like to see him kind of do in this format, because it's the format that works. Like the way they did the Penguin, the format is absolutely knocks it out the park. A Ra's al Ghul backstory using kind of this dark world type of thing, and show that. But nah, like I said, I love this world so much, and like I said, not a fan of the Batman movie at first. I actually rewatched the Batman after watching Penguin, and I really enjoyed this particular world and the way they depicted. You know, I understood why they call him the Penguin. He had a little beaky nose. He had a kind of like the waddle. Shout out to the Miami Dolphins, same thing as you did, Co. And I just love this world. I loved how intense it was, how real it was. And like I said, so I'm not ready to let go of this world now, and I just want to see different things within this else world. I think Ra's al Ghul would be cool. I know they hinted at Hush. I'd love to see a Hush series on this format. Uh, and I'll just lean on what Cole said. HBO and what they're doing with DC, continue that. From Creature Commandos, which was our last show, to this Penguin show. Kudos to HBO for taking something that we absolutely love and would have put to the side and put it to the forefront. And I have nothing else to say, guys. And great show and phenomenal jobs on your perspectives, man, because you guys opened up my eyes to a lot of different things that I wasn't seeing.
So, with that, episode 4, like, subscribe, comment,
Ring
and
that bell.
thank you all for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We'll appreciate it. Appreciate any comments, any feedback. Just let us know.
Yeah, let us know what you like, what you don't like. Please.
We'll see you next time. We will return.
The worst episode ever.